If you've been taking a look at the greater Lansing, Michigan area, then you know we have some great suburban areas. So in this video, I'm gonna be talking to you about the top 5 suburban areas within the greater Lansing, Michigan area, and you will wanna be sure to stay tuned all the way until the very last suburb, because the last suburb has a shocking statistic about the home prices. So let's get started with this next episode of Lansing, Michigan Life right now. Hey everybody, Troy Seifert here with the Capital Area Real Estate Specialist in the greater Lansing, Michigan area. I'm a top producing realtor in the greater Lansing, Michigan area, and I get phone calls all the time from people who are just like you watching this YouTube channel. People who are from the West Coast, East Coast, down south, up north even, wherever you might be. I get phone calls from people who are looking to possibly make a move here to the greater Lansing, Michigan area. So whether you're looking to move here in 9 days, 90 days, or 9 months from now, I would love to be able to talk with you about what your real estate goals are. So call me, text me, email me, or schedule a Zoom at any time. All my contact information, it's in the description below. I would love to be able to talk with you, even face-to-face with a Zoom call. Also, if you haven't already, I would appreciate it if you would like this video, if you like the content, and subscribe to my channel, because if you subscribe, you'll be notified when new episodes of Lansing, Michigan Life go live. And we have new episodes going live once or twice a week. So if this is your first time to my channel, welcome, because I have a ton of videos that you can check out in my library about everything in the greater Lansing, Michigan area. Okay, so I am at a different spot. I wanted to try something new. This is the end of October, so behind me you can kind of see the trees. They're starting to change, which is good. You know, that's typical of fall. The one thing that's kind of weird is this is the end of October. So usually this might happen maybe a week or two earlier. And so the leaves are finally starting to change. If you look behind me at the clouds, you're going, is it gonna rain on Troy here? I sure hope not, okay? But we've been having rain the entire week. We had a huge drought and we've been having rain all week as well. But I wanted to try something new. I wanted to kind of show you a little glimpse of fall of the leaves changing, because this is something that you can look forward to when moving here to the greater Lansing, Michigan area. Also, I wanted to update my top 5 suburbs. I did a video earlier last year about the top 5 suburbs, and I wanted to do an update because there are some important updates that you're going to want to pay attention to with the suburbs. The suburbs necessarily haven't changed. I don't have these ranked in any particular order, but I did want to give some really important details about how the home prices have been this last year. We've had a very tricky real estate market, so I wanted to be able to highlight those, and I wanted to be able to highlight maybe some additional things that are coming to the area, because maybe you're between 2 or 3 areas. We do have a lot of suburbs here within the greater Lansing, Michigan area. In fact, we have 500,000 people that live here. So there's a lot of different options, and you're probably trying to hone in on maybe 1 or 2 or 3 areas. So I want to be able to kind of help you with that process. Okay, so without further ado, for the top 5 suburbs, the first one I'm going to start with, and again, this is no particular order, I'm going to start with Holt, Michigan. Now, when I did my video the last time, I said that this is kind of a surprise because a lot of people tend to, in the Lansing, Michigan area, tend to go east of Lansing, and there's like a few suburbs that are over there, and I only included 2 of those suburbs. I think some people would think that 1 or 2 of those other suburbs would be in the top 5, and I put Holt in there. And the reason why I put Holt, Michigan in there, if you're not familiar with the greater Lansing, Michigan area, Holt is in the southern part of Lansing. It has one of the largest school districts in the area, and I put it in there just because of the pure fact of the average home price. So the average home price in Holt right now is $282,000, just slightly over that, so maybe a little closer to $283,000. Year over year, that was a 5% increase year over year. But when you look at all the suburbs I'm going to talk about, a huge pro of this suburb is that it's cheaper home prices than the rest of the top suburbs. This is going to be the lowest average home price you're going to see in the suburban areas that I'm going to feature. So $283,000. Okay, so that's a huge pro. The con of living in Holt is that you are a little further away from the major shopping areas, the major restaurants. If you want to go someplace in Lansing, you're gonna be about 15-20 minutes away from the malls, from the shopping centers, from a lot of the national chain restaurants. So it's definitely something for you to be aware of, and probably part of the reason why this has the lowest home prices out of all the different suburbs. $283,000, Holt, Michigan is a great suburb, but you know, again, if I were to place a ranking as far as popularity goes, this one would be 5th out of all of the suburbs, just because of the popularity, okay? The second suburb I want to feature in the top 5 suburbs in the greater Lansing, Michigan area is Grand Ledge. So Grand Ledge, if you're not familiar with it, is in the western part of the Lansing, Michigan area, and it does share its limits for school district with a place called Delta Township. Now there isn't a Delta Township, Michigan, like a formal address, so I can't put that in here. But I would put Grand Ledge Delta Township as one of the top 5 suburbs. And the average home price in Grand Ledge is $353,000. So it is higher than Holt. And year over year in Grand Ledge, they had a 3% increase, which is what I'm kind of seeing across the board in the greater Lansing area. So that's about 2 to 3% increase year over year. We are in a tricky market to where we don't have a ton of inventory, and I've seen some very modest home increases. It's not like it's double digits like I used to see in years past. So Grand Ledge, average home price $353,000. So the pro for Grand Ledge that I would say is it is the most up and coming area out of all the suburbs. They have things that are coming to the Grand Ledge area, like a Bass Pro Shop. They built a brand new shopping center. They continue to announce new places that continue to open over in where Delta Township would be. So it's not quite a Grand Ledge address, but within minutes, like within 5 minutes to Grand Ledge. And so definitely you want to follow where the retail is going. If you have a Bass Pro Shop coming to your area, that means that they looked at the areas and they're like, hey, this seems like a more up and coming area. I definitely think of that as a pro. The con for Grand Ledge, and I mentioned this in the last time I brought up Grand Ledge as a top 5 suburb, is the water, and it hasn't improved. So the water, when I'm meaning water, it's just for Grand Ledge City. Delta Township has its own water source, so I'm not including Delta Township in this, so don't get confused with that. But in Grand Ledge City, the water is A, expensive, and B, you need to have a water softener, a water filtration system, reverse osmosis system. And I've even heard from some people that live in Grand Ledge that sometimes that's not even enough. They have to buy bottled water to be able to drink. It's expensive, and I do know that the city of Grand Ledge is trying to work on an upgrade in the plant to make the water a lot better. I don't know when that's going to happen, but it definitely is a con to living in Grand Ledge. The next suburb I want to feature is DeWitt, which is where I am coming to you from, because this is a common area in my neighborhood. That's why you might see the soccer goal behind me, but we have a nice little woods trail here in my neighborhood in the common area. But number 3, DeWitt, Michigan. So the average home price for DeWitt, Michigan is around $408,000. Again, we're creeping a little higher. It's not going to go higher each one I go, just to let you know. So year over year, DeWitt, Michigan, at $408,000, that's a 1% increase. Remember when I told you I'm seeing some modest increases, not like huge increases? DeWitt, 1%. DeWitt, if you're not familiar with it, it's in the northern part of Lansing, but it's probably about a good 5, 6, 7 miles north. It's like, you know how I talked about Holt being south? I feel Holt is further south away from the center of Lansing. So if you're looking to get a job in the greater Lansing, Michigan area, you work at downtown, like with the state of Michigan or with the hospitals with Sparrow, you're gonna be closer to those places in DeWitt than you would be living in Holt. Probably about 5 minutes closer. So the pro about living in DeWitt is they have the most new build construction opportunities anywhere. That kind of tells me that there's a lot of growth that's happening. But if you are looking for a new construction place, your best bet to be able to find one is going to be DeWitt, 100%. There's already 3, 4 neighborhoods within here that they are trying to have all these new construction neighborhoods happen. And when I look here at the entire greater Lansing, Michigan area, in each suburb, no one comes close to having this much inventory for new construction and this much opportunity. So that's a major pro. The con with DeWitt though, out of all the 5 suburbs I'm gonna be talking about, the major con is that it definitely has the most small town feel. You're not gonna have everything within, 15 minutes of, within 10, 15 minutes. So like the major things are closer to you than they would be at Holt, the major things. But if you wanna take a quick run to a grocery store or have more options, all you're gonna have in DeWitt is going to have a bunch of fast food places and a Meijer. Now they just built a Starbucks. That's a huge sign. If a Starbucks comes to your area, that means they see a lot of growth in DeWitt, but there's just one strip where there's a lot of things and a small shopping plaza, and that's it. And it is the smallest as far as population goes out of all 5 of the suburbs. So that kind of says something, but DeWitt does have a lot of potential businesses that are coming to the area. There are 3 different exits in DeWitt, and they are potentially bringing a Wingstop. They are building more apartments and housing, but they are bringing some retail and some more restaurants to that area. So stay tuned for that. Number 4 suburb that I want to talk about, the number 4 suburb is East Lansing. East Lansing. So if you're not familiar with East Lansing, maybe I'm Captain Obvious here, but you have Lansing, and then just east of Lansing is East Lansing. Wow, who would have thought of that? East Lansing is where Michigan State University is. So you are going to see a lot of college students within that area. The average price of a home in East Lansing was $394,000. That's a 3% increase year over year. So it's not quite at the highest that we have seen. It's not as high as DeWitt. It is more than Grand Ledge and Holt. So the pros of East Lansing, I would say there's two big pros. Number one, I think they have the best downtown out of anywhere in Lansing, period. Even I like their downtown probably better than downtown Lansing. Downtown Lansing has some museums, and East Lansing doesn't quite have that. They don't have a Capitol building to look at, but East Lansing just has a lot more businesses and just a lot more hustle and bustle in the downtown area. They have the most happening downtown. Also, as far as location goes, I feel like they have a very central location to anything you would want to get at in the greater Lansing, Michigan area. So if you are right in that pocket, nothing will be any more than 20 minutes from you in greater Lansing. Just with the highways, the traffic, I definitely feel like that is a huge pro. The cons when it comes to living in East Lansing though are the taxes. And not just meaning the property taxes, because they do have a high property tax millage in there in East Lansing, but you combine it with a city income tax, which if you live in East Lansing, you're gonna have to pay 1% of your income to a city income tax. And you'll see that the taxes are going to be on par with maybe the city of Lansing, because the city of Lansing is the only other area that has this. But because your average house price is a lot higher, you are gonna be paying more in property taxes than you would in the city of Lansing. So the taxes would be the big con in East Lansing. And the last one, if you've been watching my videos, you've probably been wondering, Troy, why haven't you mentioned the one that you mention all the time, because it does have a lot of popularity. I'm ending this with Okemos. So Okemos, the average home price is $458,000. I am gonna get to the year over year here in a bit, so stay tuned for that. Do not leave this yet, okay? So the pros for Okemos, it's the schools. Like when you look and search Okemos, everyone talks about the schools. Sometimes the Okemos schools are rated at the top in the state of Michigan. So that is a huge pro for people who are looking for schools. The cons though, I'm gonna give two, okay? Just how I talked about the very best downtown was in East Lansing, Michigan. Do you want a place that has no downtown and yet it's just so popular? It's Okemos. So there's nowhere that you can just walk and just have a night where you maybe go out to dinner, have things to do. You're not gonna have that in Okemos. It doesn't have much of a nightlife whatsoever. That's a con, but the other thing too is, I mean, obviously with the average home price, I have it at $458,000. That is the highest out of all the suburbs. So it is the most expensive place to live. You're going to be paying a pretty penny to be able to live in Okemos, Michigan. It's just the way it is. However, this stat shocked me when I saw it. When living in Okemos, the home prices year to year went down 4%. Went down 4%. So I'm thinking to myself, is Okemos kind of at the height of where the home prices are going to be? Are the home prices just going to be steady for a while because there's just been huge appreciation in the Okemos, Michigan area as far as home prices go? I don't know. I just was shocked by it because Okemos is the most popular area, the place that has the most demand for people who want to live in there. It just was shocking to me that the most popular area went down in home prices. I don't know what that trend means, but that is very telling. So it's not to say that it's a bad area, that people are leaving that area. No, by no means. But it shows that the home prices, maybe they're starting to level off a little bit. So if you are considering making a move here to the greater Lansing, Michigan area, maybe it might be more of a buyer's market by the time you come here. Who knows? And if you are looking to move here anytime soon, all my contact information is in the description below. Call me, text me, email me, schedule a Zoom at any time, and I would be happy to be able to talk with you about what your goals are. And this is the end of the video. So if you liked this video, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I would love to be able to interact with you even in the comments. If you want to talk about some things that you have questions on or some things you might agree with, disagree with, drop it in the chat below or in the comments, and I'm pretty quick to respond. So I hope you are enjoying your fall, everybody. I'm gonna go inside and get warm because it is about 50 degrees out here and it is starting to feel a little chilly, but I do love fall. That is my favorite season. So all of you have a great fall, and until next time, make it a great day. Take care.